guys want to get some coffee or something?
Can I get a cup of coffee? Black? Can't you see we talking? White?
Even little kids in Mexico drink coffee.
Well, I'm not a little kid in Mexico, okay?
Is the best coffee I've ever tasted.
A damn fine cup of coffee.
You want a cup of coffee?
No coffee.
Coffee drinker, huh?
Maybe we can grab some coffee?
Coffee!
Damn, Jimmy, that's some serious gourmet shit. Me and Vincent would have been satisfied with some freeze-dried Taster's Choice, right? And he springs this serious gourmet shit on us.
Hi, guys. Look at you screwing up everything and having to fix it. Morning, Martin.
Hashtag blame Martin.
Yes, hashtag blame Martin. Krampus was here first.
As always.
I mean, seriously, no, I had just created it. And right when I created the show, I went right in and he'd already commented. He was waiting.
He's just waiting for that. Just so he can be the first in chat.
Da, 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 da. Hey, I drink coffee like a Mexican child. Yeah. It's really good. I got lots of chocolate in it. I don't care if Anima likes chocolate or not. I do. I love chocolate.
I want to
say good morning. Whatever. Shut up. D Bud Martin, good morning. Gap After Dark, good morning. Let's see who else is here. Anybody? Slasher Fred is here. Good morning. Alex Moore, Dragon Ruse. Yes, good. Wade's already here. Look at you, man. You're already here. Of course, Anima is awesome. That's why I'm madly in love with her and shit.
Aww,
you know, Marcus is here. Now, Marcus, I got to ask you, are you both the Marcuses from yesterday? Because that's just really weird that there's two people interacting with each other with the same name on Twitter. It's just really weird. Marcus, I got to know.
That was my fault. Please don't blame Danny.
Dork, was the show is going keep going, then ends the show? Wait, what happened?
Oh, I got confused. He said he was that we were to end the show for the radio will continue on YouTube and I put the banners and shit and closed the stream.
Oops.
I'm so sorry, man.
That's funny. That is funny.
No,
you're very funny.
No, it wasn't.
So you made the same mistake I did when I was on my Android, where I accidentally ended the show. Is that what you did?
No, it wasn't an accident. It wasn't on purpose, but because I misunderstood.
You just misunderstood, and you ended the show when he didn't want to end it.
Yeah.
So it was an accident. Yeah. Okay. That is the very definition of an accident. Something done without intent. Gap, it's good to see you, my man. It was funny having him on the show. I've never heard Gap talk before. And we had him on, what was that, Saturday? He jumped in the after show, or was it Friday? My days run together. But it's one of those days, and he jumped behind, after show and talking. I'm like, holy shit, you have a voice. There you go. But 6 is here. Good morning, 6. How are you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, Din Hut. Nothing funnier than we had a female drill instructor for like a week, reservist.
And then she gave up on you?
No, she was one of those. She tried to be a hard ass. and it was, you could tell it was annoying the actual regular drill sergeants that she was being a hard ass, because they had already put us through that rush week, whatever you want to call it, the frenzy, where the drill sergeants are just fucking beating the hell out of you for like 2 weeks. We've already gone through that, and she shows up and she starts starting it all over again. And Drill Sergeant Parker and Samuels were just like kind of like looking away every time she would do something. And what was it that she used to say? She would go, "You're right, you're right, you're left, right, you're left, right," and she would do that thing, right, and it was just like, that's a weird emphasis. It's just, she was weird. She was weird, and she would just like bust everybody's balls. And when she left, it was so awesome. It was like, oh my God, it's sort of like a scene where somebody's getting their ass beaten in a more fun way than the way they were. It's like, oh, it's so great that everything's getting back to normal.
Well, not 5 minutes in, and we have double.
Yeah, I saw Total Breach. Let's go. I have that new one. I think I'm going to play that one. Here we go.
Phrasing.
I'm coming out.
Oh, wait, no, that's not the one. Where's it at?
Where did you put it?
There it is.
Why do you have underpants with a Swiss flag on them?
Swiss? Those aren't Swiss. Those are, they're from the Red Cross. They're defective. Anyway, me safe house, A2 safe house. I'm gonna check the back door.
There you go. So, yeah, I'm just going to let it out of the bag. We're both done with Echo 3.
Absolutely.
I'm like, what the fuck, man? And before we do, I do want to play this real quick.
Echo 3 to Echo 7. Hano, buddy, you read?
They have a Luke and they have an Echo 3, but it is no Star Wars, let me tell you. Echo 3 is just crap, man. I cannot believe how stupid.
Bad.
The show is so stupid.
The first one didn't even suck that badly. It just had weird moments, but from episode 2 on, it's just crap.
It's there. And I said this in one of my post reviews where I said something, I think, on Facebook, and I said it to you too, Danny, where I said, my problem with the show is it wants to get into this personal drama, but it doesn't care about the characters in developing them as people. And instead, they go for the basal instincts with these characters, and they make Prince, he's an infidelitous piece of shit, blaming his teammate, combat. He's supposed to be combat effective. He's doing and saying things that no special forces guy would ever do or say. And let me tell you something about infidelity in the military. That is a career-ending thing to do. You get caught doing that, your career in the military is over. I don't care how fucking awesome you might be. And this guy is a piece of shit, Prince. Absolute garbage. He's an individual.
It's so unbelievable, too. He just got married to her. Now she's stuck in a shithole in Venezuela, and he's...
Yeah, she's been kidnapped, and he's got this woman on the side. It's like... just... What a garbage character. And Luke Evans' character is not much better, these are terrible characters. Terrible. There's nothing interesting about them. They're deplorable people. Deplorable.
And they make the military look
Bowles, the guy who creates this show, runs it. What an asshole. And I'm not surprised, because once again, this is the guy behind the Hurt Locker that has a soldier doing things that they will never fucking do or get away with in the military. You don't talk back to a senior NCO or officer. You don't do it. They will smoke your ass.
SEAL team as well.
SEAL team pulled that shit, and we called it on that. It was the beginning of the season. They had issues with Omar and 2 members of his team, Ray and Sonny, defending Omar when Omar was fucking talking back to a senior officer, chief petty officer. So I don't know. I have problems with that when they depict military people in an unrealistic way, because I'm going to tell you something. Soldiers are terrified of cheating. They're terrified of it because it will end your career, especially lifers. Lifers don't do that. And when they do, you see how bad that can happen, how it ends. We had a great general ruin his career by sleeping with a reporter outside of his marriage. Destroyed his career. And rightly so. You don't do that. It's referred to as conduct unbecoming. And the military frowns on it because their belief, and it's a solid philosophy, that if you're willing to cheat on your spouse, what's preventing you from cheating on the military and giving away secrets? And it's a good position to take. Back when the military was military, now it's all over the fucking place, woke. But both characters are terrible characters. The only good character in the show is the sister wife. I can say that because both the main characters, one's a spouse and one's the sibling. She's the only interesting character.
Not really.
I liked her character up to a point.
I got bored in the story.
Well, being bored doesn't mean she's bad. It's just she's the only interesting character. Gary, that sounds like a reasonable, logical take. Well, yeah. Thank you, Mags.
Hi, Mags.
And who else has dropped in? I see somebody else dropped in. Mags and Six. Okay, I got it. Okay. So basically, we're giving up on the show. We're not going to go any further. Apple has screwed the pooch with this show.
God damn it, Jeeves.
I wouldn't give away secrets. They got to pay for that. Fucking monkey. Look. Oh, wait. One of the classic war comedies I love is the movie MASH, which was released 2 years before the TV show. Based on the book, but Altman, what he did, he made it a criticism of the military in Vietnam. And so a lot of the character development and writing was geared for the Vietnam generation. The XO on my buddy's ship got his face beat in by his wife. She found out he was cheating. He never made captain. I knew Mike Sargent was cheating on his wife. She was deployed. Now, here's the thing. People who are deployed, because there's a lot of spousal support for people who stay stateside while their spouse deploys. And basically what a lot of the spouses have this basic philosophy. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas with their spouse that's deployed. They don't want to know. They don't want to know. They're just going to assume that it involves stress because it's very stressful being deployed. So they just, they bury their head a little bit. And I kind of respect that. But what happened with my sergeant, his wife was deployed and we were stateside doing training. And he started banging one of the girls in my squad. And I talked to him about it. I said, I would prefer you don't do that in front of me. I don't want to know about it. But I have a photo. I've shown the photo on this show of him sitting there with her on the sofa at his house at Fort Hood. And right above him is a photo of his wife and him. And she was deployed. And I look at that going, God, man, Dave, what were you thinking? You just don't do that.
He wasn't thinking with his brain, clearly.
No. And I frowned on it. I don't like guys or women. I don't like anybody who commits infidelity. I think that it's really, it lowers us down to the level of being animals rather than humans, because being a human, our sexual instincts don't roll us. They don't run us. They don't make us run up and grab some girl and throw up her dress and start impregnating her on the street. We're above that. We're supposed to be. And I think some people just give into that baser instinct. That I just think it's gross. You got to respect the other person. You got to respect yourself. It's a rule. And this show, Prince, he's got no morals. He's got no scruples. He has no ethics.
And I lost it with him in that scene where he gets her in the camp and just stands there hugging her in the middle of.
Oh, I don't even want to
enemy
go.
territory.
Yeah, let's go into that. All right,
was
he's
so
in the
angry. I
middle
screamed at
of
my
a
screen.
no shit operation, and he's going up to the trucks, rushing to find her. He finds her, and what does he do? Does he fucking bug out with her, take off, throw her fireman style over his shoulder, and run with her ass? No, he stops to hug her in the middle of a fucking firefight.
That was beyond bad writing.
I'm sorry, but that is the very definition of mentally retarded writing. It's dumb.
You bigots. You don't taking care of the feelings of people. Oh
People.
Yeah.
People.
Where are my pears? Where are my pears? I need to clutch them.
Did you say parrots or parents?
Pears. Pears.
Yes, Krampus. Cocaine's a hell of a drug. That's a line from Charlie Murphy telling a story about Rick James, and Rick James actually says it. Yeah, I didn't use cocaine. Then they cut away, and then they come back. He goes, "Cocaine's a hell of a drug." Alex, I'm going to have to check out the. I didn't want to watch that, The Royals, or whatever that series is on Netflix. I just don't like biopics about people who are still alive. But now that the Queen is gone, I think I'll go watch that show about her life. See how accurate it is. Oh, wait, what are we talking about? Hit somebody with a phone? Wait,
Yeah,
what?
the whole thing with the EXO of the ship and the wife.
Yeah, it ruined his career. He never made captain. Very common, man.
His career, his face.
I don't talk about this. My spouse cheated on me when I was in the Army, and I stayed stateside to raise our kid while she was doing additional training. And she met somebody in training and started a relationship with him. And I'm back home raising the kid, one of those situations. And I found out about it, and I wanted to ensure that I didn't lose the kid. And this is where I failed. I failed my kid in this. And I was on the phone with her commanding officer, preparing to file an official report of what she was doing. They were going to kick her out of the military. She was going to lose all benefits and anything that she got could get from the VA. She would lose everything. And I don't know why or what did it. What stopped me? I was stupid. I should have followed through with it. I should have. If you want to take care of your kid, you should be willing to do things for them. And that includes call the other spouse out on their bullshit. But I backed out, and I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't file the report. And people have told me, "Oh, dude, why didn't you do it?" I said, because somewhere in my head, I thought I was wrong, and that the right thing to do was the wrong thing to do, which is not report her, and instead let her have her career and not ruin it. Ruin it, Brian. Ruin. And I chose not to. And like I said, infidelity occurs in the military. It happened to me. It was rough. It was rough. But you get over it, because once again, it's not my fault they did what they did. A lot of people try self-blame. Where did I fall short? Why was I such a The fact is I could give two shits about being her husband. All I cared about was our kid. That's where all my energy went. So I admit it freely. I stopped being interested in being her spouse and wanted to raise that child because she didn't want any part of it. That was it. I kind of assumed, in the back of my mind, I think that the marriage was over because of it. I just kind of assumed that. So when it ended,
into you anymore.
No, I wasn't Army Gary anymore. I was Baby Daddy Gary, giving baby baths and saying things like, "You do. I couldn't believe you smell." When I came out of the bathtub, I smelled his hair. It was so cute. That's me. I was kind of gay, and
kinda was
kinda.
Was
Gary, that sucks. I'm sorry. People just
I
have
chose
no.
not to say something much.
Well, that's just it. You know, she liked to play the part of this great soldier, but she committed infidelity while in service, and she would have been released if I had just said yes, file it, because her captain was going to file it, and all I had to say was I confirm that is what I said, and she would have been drummed out of the military. She would have been court-martialed out of the military for conduct unbecoming. So
she probably would have disappeared though with your kid had you done that.
Well, they already did. They did that later, because even though she didn't want the kid, her mother wanted the kid. Mother-in-law, she wanted the kid, and so they got me over a barrel because I had left the military. I didn't have a career. I was living in what would be considered a halfway house at that point, trying to find work, and they had me over a barrel, and they just wanted to see Sean, and they pulled a shitty trick on me and took off with him, and knew I couldn't do anything at that point because I gave up my career in the military to be a dad, but I don't like talking about this stuff. It's weird. It's like I have a dark past, a lot of experiences. If people want to talk to me about this stuff, we can save it for another time, private. But suffice to say, I didn't know how to fight for my kid at that point. I'd already been I was screwed over with my first one because I trusted my ex. And then the second time, I got caught with, over a barrel. And I didn't know what to do. And oddly, my sister, Luann, offered to help me, but I didn't trust her. I still don't trust her. And I don't trust any of my siblings. And I think you need to have someone in your corner when you're going to go to do something like that, especially when you're young and kind of stupid. So that situation was a broken arrow situation, loss of control. And that's when I had Zoe years later. And I took an oath with myself. I'm not going to let that happen again. I knew all my screw ups where I messed up, and I was going to repeat myself. And what happened? I got sole custody of my kid and raised her by myself. And the others love to tell stories about how bad a parent I was because they have to say those things. They have to have an excuse for why they did what they did. Right? But Zoe is living proof that they're full of shit. And that's why they hate me even more now after raising Zoe, because raising her was the destruction of their narrative that we had to do what we did because Gary was abusive. And it's like, no, I'm not. I'm a dick. Oh, I'm a jerk. I am. I can be very verbally mean when I feel that people are being disrespectful to me. But I'm the opposite of physically abusive or even emotionally abusive because I'm nurturing by nature. You've seen it, Anima. That's who I am. I'm that guy that really gives a shit and wants to help people.
Not to me. You're always pushing me down, and you don't even permit that I leave the basement.
I'm going to tell you something, my friend. You beat your daughter's bowling, and I'll change my tune, mister. Hey, Mexican Iron Man, you just haven't had enough shitting on me in private. Now you got to do it in public. Thanks, man.
Of course, you need that.
Oh my God, I love you. I love you, Mikey.
You need that, Gary, to start the week. Right?
I told him in a private comment earlier. I said, if I didn't know that you love me so much, I'd be hurt by some of the shit you say to me. But he does. He's such a. I'm going to tell you something. You guys don't know Mikey until you know him personally and find out what a decent human being he really is. Yeah, colonizer Gary. That's right. I told Polly he needs to teach you how to roll when you hit the ground. Hey, speaking of that, I have all that military training behind me. And when I fell off the stairs earlier this year, I remember as I was going, I remembered my military training, tuck and roll. Tuck and roll. And I tucked, but then I realized I'm too old. I can't roll anymore. And I can't. And I remember thinking, I tried to roll. It didn't work. And so the only way I could roll was once I hit the ground was on my back, and I rolled onto my back, and I laid there staring at the ceiling. And then I looked down, straight down into the stairs and see how far I fell. And then I started moving parts of my body to see if I was paralyzed. I'm like, okay, I'm not paralyzed. I'm not dead. Okay, that's a good sign.
So,
but I seriously thought I broke
Steven
my
was
rib.
right.
Oh, you people in your corner. Yes. Look, when you're going to take it on, but to be honest with you, I had nobody in my corner when I fought for custody of Zoe, except for one thing. I had the best lawyer in Lebanon, Missouri. He's now a judge of family law. Judge Mark Rector was my attorney. Excuse me. And he got angry at me quite a few times because he wanted me to play dirty. He says, when they do something, when they throw one of these allegations, you need to throw it back. And I'm like, and I tell him, I said, you don't understand. It's not my right I'm looking for to raise my daughter. It's the privilege I'm looking for. I have to earn that. And that's the problem with most parents. You think it's your fucking privilege. It's not. It is a privilege to get to raise your kids. And too many people take advantage of that. And I just, goddamn, man. I was so lucky to get to raise my daughter. But anyway, let's get back to, I'm Echo 3. Fuck that show. Yep. What a fucking piece of crap film show. Just garbage writing, garbage production, terrible military advisor who was hired. Luke Evans walking around with his hand all the way out to the front of the arm, the handguard. It's like nobody holds their weapon that way. Not in QRF. QRF doesn't fucking do that. Special Forces isn't trained to hold a weapon that way. Nobody is. Just dumb. I
have a military advisor. It's a fucking idiot.
Oh, John's here. I hope you're feeling better, John. I'm sorry you're sick today, buddy. But I guess let's see. Where are we? I wanted to get to the episode and or the movie Act of Valor. I freaking love this movie. I was so excited because you were roughed up. You got roughed up, Anima, when I played Black Hawk Down.
Oh yeah.
Because it's a very emotional film. There's a lot of people dying, and you get to see each death.
Outpost.
Oh wait, what was that last one I was reading at, Martin? I gave it an episode, way too many mistakes. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The trailer, I called him out on the trailer.
Yeah.
Because they have Luke Evans walking into the camera with his left hand all the way out to the front of his weapon, up near the barrel. I'm like, nobody carries their weapon like that, much less someone that's tier 1 operator. Good grief.
They don't behave like tier 1 operators at all.
No, they don't. They have zero team ability in the show. They're both, the way they behave is what you would refer to as non-effective. They're non-effective. Luke Evans is a gay Brit. I don't know. That has no, I'm guessing it's a joke in there. I don't get it. I don't care if he's gay. Good morning, Brian. How are you doing, my friend? My problem with Luke Evans isn't Luke Evans. My problem with Luke Evans is whoever was in charge of training him, having him hold that weapon wrong. That's your technical advisor. They're supposed to make sure shit like that doesn't happen. Tell John to man up. Hope y'all. Yeah. John is nervous too because he's getting ready to go in to have that surgery. So everybody always keep positive thoughts going out to John. He's making a big change in his life. His name would be Joanne at the end of this. No, I'm just kidding. He's not doing that.
Jesus Christ, Derek. Shut up.
I drink my coffee like a Mexican child. But no, it's he's going to have a surgery to better his life, to get his life back, to reclaim it. And I'm proud of him. I'm proud of him. And Martin?
No. Continue, my friend.
Were you getting ready to say phrasing? Because I did the hand thing.
No.
Okay, I didn't know what you were doing. Okay.
It's just that it still sounded that you were talking about reaffirming surgery.
I think Martin doesn't really know what he's doing right now.
Oh, somebody noticed that. Yes.
So, yeah, Stephen Lang can replace anybody in my book. Despite I did not like the first Avatar movie. I thought a lot of it was dumb. And I don't like.
No, don't do it. Don't do that to you. Skip it. It's trash.
What?
Echo 3.
Oh yeah, do
No.
not watch that, Mike. It's
unless you want to get
show.
angry and rant.
It's the characters are terrible. They're deplorable people. And I'm sick of military people getting shit on in film and TV, and people going, "Well, we're trying to make them look like real people." They are real people, and they're most of the time they're fucking awesome people. I served with a lot of awesome guys. Yes, there's a lot of fucking assholes in the military. We call them Blue Falcons. We spot them. These are non-effective personnel, and you can't fire them. So what we do in the military is we promote them out, get rid of them. We don't want them on our team anymore. Let them be somebody else's problem. Yep. Everybody have positive thoughts for John and what he's trying to do. I'm proud of you, John. Let's see. So anybody else drop it? Nope. Got everybody. So let's get into the crux of this, because the film that I introduced her to this week was to make her feel better and have a better idea and have a little fun doing it. Yes, there's a sad moment in it, tragic moment, but the fact is you get to see a lot of cool ass shit. This is like Call of Duty, if it were a movie, is movie Act of Valor. Act of Valor is just a straight up, based on actual things that they did with the Navy SEALs. On top of that, the entire cast of soldiers are all active duty or prior service Navy SEALs.
Yep.
All within the right age range. And so
that's
when you see them,
why a lot of people have beef with that movie, because the acting isn't good. Yeah, they're not actors.
it's stiff, but I don't care because that's how they actually talk.
I prefer authentic action scenes over top-notch acting, to be honest, in a movie like that.
They had actors in it that were playing certain characters, and that was enough. And I enjoy, because like you got to see that opening scene where they have to rescue that woman. Oh, there we go. There's Amelia, played by Rosalind Sanchez, who is a great actor. I like her. She was in, what was that Jackie Chan movie she was in? Rush Hour. Yeah, she was in Rush Hour and Rush Hour 2. I don't know if she was in the third one. She was great. I freaking love her. She was in Game Plan. God, so many cool things. But she was in that remake of Fantasy Island, which I wouldn't watch, but I still love her. She's a very good actor, and she plays a CIA operative that gets captured and tortured.
Lisa Morales.
Her partner was killed. She was tortured, and Navy SEALs are sent in to recover her alive. And they said, at all costs, you get her out of there. And of course, that's because she's a valuable asset, is why, but it doesn't matter. It's a rescue mission. And so one of my favorite moments, and I pointed it out to Anima in that scene when they go in there is a boat scene where you see them unloading with the twin 50s and the Gatling gun. And I said, there was nobody in that shot. They wanted to show you what live fire looks like. That is real expended tracer rounds, not special effects, being fired at those vehicles. And it's just so beautiful. And it's one of my favorite moments in any film is getting to see live fire.
Yeah,
because
great.
The visual effects never capture how beautiful it is. It really doesn't. That was just gorgeous watching them unload on those vehicles. There was nothing left. It's like what they're telling you is if there were human beings in those vehicles, they're just a mess left behind. Yeah, it's stuff that someone's going to have to clean up later. There's it's no recovery of bodies. There's no bodies left. It's just meat. It's intense combat scenes. A lot of Call of Duty, first-person shooter perspectives used in it on purpose. That was for the Call of Duty crowd, which I was part of. I love the film, man. I love that movie. I loved how they did it. They had one fuck up in the film, and that's later. And it is, even you spotted it. It's like, oh my, because I like said what was going to happen, and then I hit play, and then you went,
yeah,
oh, that's messed up. What? And I went, right? Yeah, it's dumb. But they had some cool action. All these guys are combat effective Navy SEALs that were in the movie doing their own stunts and shit. Great stuff, man. The firefights in it were intense, close quarter. They're very realistic. They were very realistic when one of the guys gets shot, hit in the head, and the eyeball gets popped out. Because that's happened. That happened to my boss, Dale Dye. He was going over a log, and a sniper hit him. He hit him right in the head. It went in right here into his eyebrow and went around his skull and popped his eyeball out. My boss, Dale Dye, is a badass. That's that scar you see on his eyebrow in photos. Dale's a fucking combat effective dude. That's all I got to say. People love to talk shit about him that don't know anything about him. And I just laugh and I'm like, you have no idea what you're talking about, what that guy's been through. Somebody tried to say that he was, what do they call that? When he's stolen valor. He's just a journalist for the Army or Marine Corps. He wasn't a real soldier. And I'm like, you're an idiot. Did you not read the book, The Short Timers, or see the movie Full Metal Jacket? Daddy DA is a character in that movie and in the book, and Daddy DA is Dale Dye. That guy was a badass motherfucker. And by the way, I saw something yesterday, and I love Adam Baldwin. I really do. I follow him on Twitter, and he made a criticism of Stanley Kubrick yesterday. That Stanley Kubrick is a dick. And somebody was like, took umbrage with it. And somebody says, are you going to correct an actor who actually worked for Stanley Kubrick closely? And he goes, and then his response back was, Stanley referred to himself as a dick, called himself a dick. Dicks, we know what we are. We know what we are. My problem with Stanley Kubrick is what he did on The Shining. That's my beef. What he did to Shelley Duvall. But past that, he's a brilliant filmmaker, insane, but brilliant. And he was a dick. And Adam's also a dick, which is what I like about Adam Baldwin. The shit he says, man. He and James Woods are the only two Hollywood guys I listen to when it comes to making political statements, because both of them are very sharp dudes and know what they're talking about.
Oh yeah.
I have never seen an actor know their constitution like Adam Baldwin. As I jokingly told him one day, I said, the only Baldwin worth a shit.
Oh yeah.
And he makes fun of Alec Baldwin all the time. He posted a meme the other day with the scene with Travolta from Pulp Fiction when he actually shoots the kid in the back seat, all the blood and brain all over him. and he replaced Travolta's face with Alec Baldwin's. It was really good. Yeah. Somehow he's always him and his wife are trying to turn him into a victim all the time. I was a victim. No, dude, it was involuntary manslaughter. You are a killer. You are a killer, whether you like it or not. You killed somebody by doing something you weren't supposed to. But Keely Chow is here, and Cavatino Calverman Che is here. Joe's Atmosphere. Joe, you're welcome to join us, man, if you want to. Brian, too. You can send them an invite if you want to, dude. Martin.
To who?
Joe said he was
to Brian, 70s rock fan, or Joe.
Okay.
I'm not reading their comments. I'm looking at the names they pop up when Martin posts them. Yeah, there you go. There you go, Che. You nailed it. It's like when I had Sandy Calora on the show, and Keith and I got to interview him. You guys might know him as the man behind the short film Batman Dead End, which is one of the best Batman fan films, if not best Batman films ever made. And Sandy is a FX guy, great. I love the dude. He's great. On the show, in the middle of the show, he was talking about something he did, and I went, "Oh my God, you're a dick." And Sandy was like, "What?" And then I said, No. It's a compliment, man. You don't take shit off people. You shoot from the hip. You don't take anybody's bullshit. You're honest. And that's important, And I said, phrasing again here, dicks know dicks and dicks like dicks. We like other dicks. Dicks love other dicks.
Why?
Deal with it. Yeah, I'm not even being literal. I'm being figurative. Why doesn't he make back? Oh, fuck you, Krampus, you son of a bitch. Oh, God damn it. All right, here comes your fucking video. Hold on. Here you go.
I'm gonna go check the back door. Back door.
So, I have that other one I got to use too. So the next one, let me know, Martin. I'll use the other one.
That will be
go.
for sure.
Oh, do it again? All right, here we go.
Front door team and back door team.
You know Scan Dog's all about the back door, but quick question, when has splitting the party ever worked?
There you go. Your back door. So, but basically, what I think of the film is, yeah, you could call it out as being a recruitment film. You can. But it's about as believable a recruitment film as Top Gun was, because not everybody's going to be a fucking flyer. Aviators, they call them in the Navy. So it's really, what you're saying is that people are stupid and can't figure out that if they join the Navy or Air Force, that they're going to automatically be a pilot. It's just dumb to the nth degree to make that proclamation as actual recruitment videos, because they're not, because they also show people fucking dying and being injured in the film Act of Valor. They're very realistic about it. I thought it was interesting. There was a lot of criticism against the Navy by former Navy personnel and those people that like to consider themselves the great bulwark of our national secrecy of our military. And so they were calling the Navy out for showing too much in the movie. And I'm like going, trust me, the 1/10 that we got to see in that film is nothing compared to the stuff that they really do. So no, this was stuff we already knew that they did. There was nothing secret in that fucking film that was exposed. I got into a huge fight with one of those guys, and he was attacking Dale Dye and I for my book, Code Word Geronimo. I'm like, I didn't show anything there that's not known. What are you talking about? And I just finally I said, you are a fucking idiot. And then I blocked him. I'm like, I'm tired. People go, why'd you block him? Why don't you? It's like, look, two things my dad taught me. Don't argue with idiots and don't argue with crazy people. And they're often the same person. You get nowhere. I mean, you're literally criticizing me because I refuse to be Sisyphus pushing a boulder up a fucking hill for no reason. You're not going to win the fight. Crazy. They're crazy. You can't win a fight with crazy and stupid.
Yeah,
people that want to keep interacting with them blow my mind. I'm like, God bless you for doing that, but I don't do it. The minute somebody shows they're stupid in public, I block them. I don't want to interact with them ever again. And I don't care if anybody, has a problem with that. I don't fucking care. Oh, the bots here? Oh my. Oh me, oh my. And there's not even that many people watching right now.
No, we're like 6 or so.
Let me do it.
Yeah, somebody did it already. I don't know.
No, it was me, but let me do this.
Did Joe say he couldn't join us? There you go.
No, Joe has given no answer yet, but Brian cannot join today.
Yeah, go ahead and send Joe an invite if he wants to join us.
I did.
Oh, okay, good.
He must be busy.
It's up to you, Joe. No. No, you're never too busy to hang out with me. You're saying I can't do something is just a challenge. Oh, I kind of feel the same way, but if it's something stupid, that's not a challenge. The challenge in that would be if you decide to do something stupid because someone said you shouldn't do it, shows that you are challenged. Yeah, life is too short for stupid. I don't want to interact with it. Look, man, I'm a year away from 60, even though I don't look it. I am not interested in wasting any more of my precious time on people. I'm done. I don't want to waste time on people anymore. Too many years dealing with stupid people. I want to do like I did with that idiot in the army when I bitch slapped him and knocked his mask sideways, and then turned to the other person and said, if he doesn't die, we're all clear. That's what I want to do with stupid people. Felt cheated when I got my 19D manual because I never got to PMCS a motorcycle before getting my DD214. There you go, buddy.
I have no idea what that
translation,
means.
please.
Oh, okay. Yeah, in English, please.
You know what? I'm going to make him explain it. But look, when there are goals that you have in the military, and what he's talking about, because I'm not sure what the 19D was, but the MOS 19D is 19 Delta is an MOS, I recall. Let me go look it up real quick. 19 Delta MOS. Let me see what that is. Cavalry Scout. Gotcha. Okay, Cavalry Scout. All right. So put it back up so I can explain what he said. There we go. Felt cheated when I got my MOS manual for his job, which was Scout, because I never got to PMCS a motorcycle. PMCS is your primary maintenance, care, and servicing of a motor vehicle before getting my DD214, which is your out processing paperwork when you leave the military. When you reach your term of service, you get your
what's wrong today?
Sexy bots. Yeah, there you go.
2 times in a row. That's a new
Ford is back. COD, what is up? And I'm guessing that's what you meant. Yeah, I was right. Cavalry Scout, 19 Delta.
May I play my clip, sir?
When I went into the Army, I was in. Yeah, go ahead. Do it real quick.
Thank you.
The goddamn robots, John!
Yeah. When I went in, my primary MOS was 91 Alpha. And then they modified the MOS to be the same MOS because 91 Charlie was, or 91 Bravo. 91 Bravo was a medic NCO, and they just did away with that, and they made all medics 91 Bravos. And then right when I was getting out was when they changed it again, and it went to 68 Whiskey when I hit my end of enlistment. Oh, is that why? Because you're here? Okay. By the way, I watched Troll last night. Great film. I'm actually looking forward to seeing it.
I didn't like it, to be honest.
We can go into it. We'll do a review of it on the show this week, maybe Thursday. There's a deleted scene in Jurassic Park with a raptor riding a motorcycle. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
We have stuff for Thursday, Gary.
Troll was silly but fun, is what Brian says. Again, my designation was 95 Bravo. That means 95 bastard because he was an MP.
Farnsworth, hi. Good to see you here. I know him from the Salty Nerd podcast.
What's up? I don't think I've ever met Farnsworth.
Yeah.
He's been here, I think, once before. Last week,
Yes.
I saw him in chat the first time.
Interesting. So anyway, when we get into the movie, again, we get past that first rescue, which is very emotional to watch because she is tortured in the film. They show her torture,
Yeah.
and the guy torturing her is told, "Don't kill her, but you do whatever you want."
Yeah.
And so they do. And at one point, they drill holes in her hands and her feet and run
That was
wires through it
horrible.
and bind her to a bed frame with the stuff wound through there, plus using the wire to shock her. So it was a rough scene, and they were trying to establish, and these were the real actors in the movie. Everybody else in the film are combat effective Navy SEALs, but everybody else was actually good actors, and they hired two good villains. That leads to one of my favorite scenes on the ship later, but they're bad guys. They're bad guys.
Very bad. Because they don't just recover Morales, they also find a mobile phone. And when they go through the data on it, they discover this shit is way bigger than we thought at first.
Right. It's and clearly this movie inspired the series Navy SEAL Team, because a lot of the plot points in this film are the typical stuff you see in that show, and I kind of like that. And so move ahead. Let's move ahead. So what happens next?
Well,
because we get an injured Navy SEAL, he loses his eye, and he has to leave the team temporarily while he's recovering.
Yeah, right. The one with the eye. Because at first it goes great, but one of the bad guys sees them through the window, and they start shooting back, and things go sideways a little bit.
Yeah, because they had to skip two of their exfils because they had two plans for exfils, and everything got screwed, and they were just like, "Fuck, it's still a truck. Let's go."
Yeah.
And it leads to this kick-ass scene where they just drive that truck right into the water, and the boat pulls up and meets them. And those trucks that were following them, the two armed boats pull up and just open up with full automatic fire. You're talking thousands of rounds per minute being fired at those bad guys in that scene. Like I said, hamburger.
That was awesome.
Yeah, and then they get the hell out of there, and they're fast boats. I love the way they showed how the fast boats are picked up by the Chinooks, because the Chinook is the backbone of the U.S. Navy and the U.S. Marine Corps. It is a helicopter that was created in the late 40s that is still in operation to this day. Although the ones used in Vietnam, which are the ones used today, are different than the ones that were invented in the late 40s. It's still... the concept of the Chinook is still there.
Those are the Jolly Rogers, right?
What's that?
Those are known as Jolly Rogers, I think.
I don't know. I don't know. I've never heard it called that. We always called it the marine green bean because it looks like a green bean. What was that comment? By the way, Gary, have you seen SAS? I've watched episode 1 of that, and it was fucking awesome. And I want to get into it for Military Monday now that Echo 3 is just shit. It's garbage. A garbage show. I call Bowl out on that garbage.
Absolutely.
I call him a garbage writer because he takes too much credit for a movie that is not very accurate at all called Hurt Locker. I went to see it with military buddies of mine, active duty and veterans, and we laughed at that movie. Hurt Locker. We were laughing at the stupid shit in that movie. Everybody's like, that's a great military movie. Did you serve? No. No wonder you think it's great. There's almost 22 million active duty and veterans living in this country. I think it's even over that. But it's like, we watch movies too, fuckers. And we know better. Stop fucking making movies about us and making us look stupid because you don't know shit. I always call it, the masturbatorial fantasy of the fucking non-com military people that want to play soldier. Because actors love that shit, by the way. Hell yeah, I want to get a chance to play a soldier. Hell yeah. They get excited about that shit, man, when they get to be in a military movie because they get to do something they never did in real life. And I'm like, you better do it right because a lot of us are looking at you.
Yeah. I'm learning a lot of stuff.
I never saw any Chinooks in the Army.
I was pissed.
All I ever saw was Hueys, Scorpions, the Bell helicopters, and I got to see a lot of Blackhawks. But I never saw any Chinooks. All the Chinooks I ever saw, like out in Cali, was near the naval base. I would always see Chinooks out there. I want to play doctor. Shut up, Kyle.
Hi, Kyle.
Yeah, it's like, well, I love that. It's like I've always made fun of actors that play soldiers. When they do those commercials, the fake commercials, or the fake and real ones. Like, I'm not a doctor, but I played one on TV. And I always wanted to do one like that with military vets, with actors that played soldiers. Hi, my name is, Jeremy Renner. And I played a soldier, even though I never served.
Hi, Joe.
Good morning, Joe. How are you, Joe?
Dude, I streamed for 8 hours yesterday. 3 different shows.
Are you crazy?
That's too much, man. That's too much.
I know it
dude.
is. I that's why I'm up so late. I was like, God, I was dead tired by the end of the day. How are you guys? It's good to see you.
I'm doing pretty good. I'm reading Jeeves' interviews after the attack of the documentary panel. What's this? What's he talking about?
I don't have any idea.
Derailing.
It's Jeeves.
No, he's talking about something, and so I'm curious what it is. Attacking who?
Film Thread is Chris Gore's channel. So,
yeah, I know Chris.
Yeah, probably has something to do with.
I know Chris better than he probably wants me to know him because
Right.
I know about him too through somebody that worked with him.
Yeah,
and I think that's why Chris.
I
think that's why Chris avoids me, and I'm like, I don't know why. I don't know anything bad about you.
Right.
I think he's a great guy. I love Chris Gore.
Yeah, they were at that LA Comic-Con yesterday. So that may be what he's talking about. Panel.
Oh, they had a panel with Gary and Anna.
Yeah.
So what happened?
I don't know.
Oh.
But I'm just saying that's probably what he's referring to.
Okay. I hope they weren't mistreated. That would be on the convention if that happened.
Of course.
So they need to own shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Mags, that's right. Joe is here. Joe! Yo, Joe! G.I. Joe, a great American hero.
You don't know how many times I've heard that.
Yeah, did you hear what I said to my senior? Well, he was our first sergeant, during formation one morning, and he always loved to throw this out there, GI Joe things. And this morning he used the classic "and knowing is half the battle."
Oh,
and I raised my hand, and he just looked over and he goes, "What, Private?" And I said, "Losing is also half the battle, First Sergeant."
Guys, get a room, Stacks and Max.
That's good. That's good. I'm sure you did some push-ups for that one.
Nope.
Really?
Dude, I have said things, and I remember when one of my senior drill instructors in basic came up and was trying to fuck with me somehow, but it ended up blowing back on him. Yeah. I know phrasing. And he was he says he walks up to me and by the way, I really did like this guy. He took me out for drinks after we graduated. Really cool dude. But he walked up to me and he says, and I'm standing there with my squad. Everybody else is in the lotus position. I'm standing. And we're waiting outside the armory to go get our weapons to go out and do a field training exercise. And so while we're waiting there in a little circle, he walks up and he goes, "I understand you're married and have a kid." And I'm like, drill sergeant just walked up and fucking starts a conversation with me.
Yeah.
And I went, "Sergeant, yes, Sergeant." And he's like, "We can drop that." I went, "Oh, okay." Drop the formality. He says, "So you're married? How old are you?" And I said, I'm 26. And he goes, "No shit." Because when I was 26, I looked like I was 18. You've seen pictures of me in the Army.
Yeah.
Look like a fucking kid.
Mm-hmm.
And so he said, "No shit. So you've got a kid and you're married?" I went, "Yeah." So I showed him a picture actually of my girlfriend. And because I was separated from my wife at that point.
Right.
And a picture of my son. And of course, Patty, who's still one of my closest friends to this day, my ex-girlfriend. Gorgeous, Romanesque beauty. Looked like something that somebody would chisel into a statue.
Yeah, I was fixing to say one of those faces carved out of stone. Yeah.
Yeah, just gorgeous.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Bright blue eyes, blonde hair, just brilliant, funny. And so I showed that picture, and I showed the picture of my little boy. He was 7. And he says, "Good looking family." Well, thank you. "You want to see a picture of my girlfriend?" And I'm like, this is the weirdest fucking thing. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
He was trolling you, man.
He was totally trolling me.
He's fitting to get you.
So I'm like, sure. And he pulls out his wallet, just like mine, Velcro, rips it open, pulls out a photograph of this very ugly, really ugly woman. I mean, she looked like she ate the ugly stick, was beat by it, ate it, and then shit it out and ate it again.
Fell out of it and hit every branch on the way down.
Just so fucking ugly. And I'm like, in my head, when he showed the picture, he pulled it out, I went like this. My head went back slightly. I'm like,
visual
oh,
reaction,
shit.
right? Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, oh my God, I better fucking compliment something. Oh, I cannot compliment her. I can't. Oh, there's nothing I can compliment with. Oh my God, her ears, her nose, her mouth, everything is so ugly.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went, oh, the photograph. And I went, that is a great photograph. And then drill sergeant goes, that's my sister. And I went, you just told me you're going to show me a picture of your girlfriend, and then you pull a picture of your sister out.
Are you from Arkansas, sir?
And I just went, and I can't stop it. It's coming. It's like a pimple. My humor is like a pimple. It will build and explode. And I said, so that's how it is in your family. And
oh my God,
he looked at me, and he was a black guy, and his eyes got so huge you could see the whites of the top and bottom, and his mouth went like a bow.
Really?
Looking at me. And I put my hands in a diamond. You know what I was doing.
Yeah.
I said, I suppose you just like me to drop and beat my face right now for that. Mm-hmm. He looked at me, he goes, no, we're good. We're good. He turns around, he just kind of walks away from me with that look of like, where did I go wrong?
Yeah. I totally blew that. I had this guy. I had him set up and everything.
And he did not expect me to be smarter than him. and he just sort of walked away, and I watched him walk away. And then my eyes turned to every guy in my squad, and they were like this, all of them in the lotus position, looking at me like,
yeah, like, dude, you got to teach me that.
and I just looked at him. I said, "Shut your mouths. We're not codfish."
Right.
Actual quote. I said that to my guys. Happy Monday, everyone. Yes, you too, Gary. Good Gary.
Go Gary.
Good morning, Dustin. How you doing, my friend? Did I miss anybody else? Andy Morrow, Keto Simple. Yep, I'm good. All right, good. So they show up at the Tactical Operations Center on the ship, and they start having a conversation about what's going on, all the intel that was gathered. It's sort of a sandbox meeting, and they're discussing what needs to be done. One of the guys that was going to be part of the operation has to bow out because he's got his own job he's got to do, which we get to see that. And it's really cool because they now have a face and a name.
Two.
Yeah, well, two names and face, but the primary one is the one he's going after, which is a really one of my favorite interrogation scenes, a military interrogation scenes ever done. It was so much fun. I mean, he is just putting on the sugar, like, "Hey, how are you doing? Do you need some water? Got anything to drink? Stop fucking around. Think this is a game? Is this you and your daughter?" He just basically threatens the shit out of this guy. Lets him know, he's like, "Your life is over. We're going to put you in a box so far away, no one's going to know anything about you. You will never see your daughter again. Your wife is going to remarry. She's going to get a new father."
He gets dirty. Yeah.
Oh my God. That scene is like one of my favorite moments in the film. I'm like, oh my God, he's fucking doing this. Oh, it's great. And of course, this guy's a terrorist, and he's working with a Chechen, who's the real top-notch bad guy of the film.
And we see him in the beginning blow up a bomb at an international school in the Philippines, killing the US ambassador.
Yeah, it's just it sets up an ice cream truck.
In
order to kill one person, he kills all these kids.
Yeah.
And it's based loosely on an incident that took place. And I will say that a lot of the stuff that happens in the film is based on actual little events here and there. It's not total fiction what they do in this film. So he is just a fucking evil motherfucker. And this world has evil. I know Hollywood likes to pretend that there's shades of gray with everybody. Now, there's some evil motherfuckers that earn a bullet to the head. They've earned it. They are murderers of women. Che, not you, Che, in the chat. Che Guevara is a murderer of women and children, personally. Murdered women and children himself. He actually does. If you do not fall into line, he would kill you. That's how communists work.
There are some evil individuals in the world.
There are. And so, again, there you go. So, what I really like about this film is you got two things going on at once. And I kind of like that because they did sort of the same thing with the show SEAL Team. You're following different paths that all are leading to one point. And I like that. And that's sort of what's happening here is the team is then sent out to find this guy. And we discover that what he's doing is he's having special made vests that hold explosives inside. And the explosives are plastic. And they use a lot of carbon. And all of the actual debris that's made are little tiny ball bearings made of plastic. Yeah, and these vests are designed to kill and maim.
What they do, make them out of claymores?
And don't show in detectors.
And they won't show up on detectors. So this is scary shit. We got to put a stop to this before it gets going. And the whole operation is moving towards finding out where this is happening so they can stop them. And we find out one character's wife has been taken hostage, and she's being held at the place where these things are going to be deployed from. And we have this. Do you have notes on this, honey? Because I don't want to skip anything.
Some, but we kind of jumped back and forth a little bit already.
Well, there's so much going on, and to explain it, we kind of have to. But what's the next thing? Because they capture the dude. They let him know, you're going to Guantanamo, motherfucker. You're going into a hole so deep, you know. And, you know, any fantasies of a life is just give it up now. You are our puppet now. You will do what we ask of you if you want to enjoy that time and have a good time.
Yeah, and he spills out the whole plan that Shabal is having terrorists, and he has plans to smuggle them into California.
Yep.
So
that means they're going to be coming up through the Mexican border. Where have we heard that in real life? And so it's
the SEALs are in Somalia.
Yes, it is the CW, Bill. Thanks for derailing. And so go ahead, hon.
They go to Somalia and they find Shabal and 16 Filipinos who are clearly Muslim because they are praying at that point. And they also
at the airport scene, yep.
They tag 2 planes that are leaving for California.
So it's really interesting what they do in the film. They show some real world tactics. One of my favorite things, and I like that you noticed it too, was that whenever you see lenses, they're masked by either stocking or that mesh material that he had on his scope, on his rifle when he was scoping the airfield. It's a mesh material but the other guy is using actually just legs, girls' stockings to hide, because you can see through this shit. But they can't see the reflection on your lens, and that's the whole idea, is to hide your position. Those little things, I love that.
Get real soldiers to play in a movie like that. They won't miss on that detail.
Yeah. So then next, from the airport, they get their intel and
hang on. We did that. Cristo Yacht team covered. So they go to Mexico and meet with a local commander.
Commander of their elite forces. And of course, you know, look, we want to show friendlies in the film with other countries, but the fact is, in real life, we have a problem with the military and law enforcement of Mexico being corrupt and being involved with the cartels. But for the sake of this movie, they want to show, because the movie, I got to be honest with you, the movie with Benicio del Toro,
Sicario, man, love it,
is closer to reality, as is the movie Man on Fire with Denzel Washington, is closer to what actually goes on down there. I'm not saying that there aren't good guys in the military. I'm just saying they're hard to find because they're so rampant. Used by the cartels of the military, and
corruption.
It's corrupt. It's a very corrupt country. But anyway, I don't want to get Martin in hot water because he's still down there.
Right.
So, but anyway, so he meets with the senior commander of one of their elite teams, and they're going to work in tandem.
Actually, they find out a building where the jihadists are supposedly hiding. They breach it.
That breach scene is something else, because they got a 2.5 ton fucking dump truck, and they throw a couple of cars in front of it, like even a Cut V. You remember what a Cut V is? It's a Suburban. It's the military version of the Suburban, the Chevy Cut V. Fuck, man. Fucking knocks the shit out of that thing. It's like, really? You thought that was going to stop a 2.5 ton fucking dump truck? And they just plow right into this fucking building, and they just start deploying, fucking lighting people up. It is an uneven gunfight. My only beef in this scene is there's a lot of stationary guys standing in front of walls so they can show the brains being blown into the wall. Just for that. That's what those were for. I'm like, don't get me wrong. I enjoy seeing bad guys in film getting killed, but I like it a little more believable where they're fucking trying to hide and getting shot by a good fucking shot, because these are tier 1 operators that can hit the flea off a bull's ass at 500 yards, open sight.
Give us some credit, I think is what he's trying to say.
Is what I'm saying. Show that they're actually putting up a good fight. Yeah. But they did show something that we're trying to do, which is shoot under vehicles. That if you find yourself taking protection with your vehicle, you got to be quick to look underneath and look for feet and ankles, and absolutely shoot them. And they show that, and I like that when they show guys in the military do that shit, foot shooting, ankle shooting, and dropping somebody. Then you, right when they hit the ground, pop them. You either hit them center mass or you pop them in the head, get a good headshot. Doctor helping people at Colony during the Motorcycle Diaries. Oh yeah, that's something we should talk about sometime, Che. Yeah, I refuse to watch that movie because I know the story, and fuck Che Guevara. Fuck that guy. I'm glad he's dead. Glad they put a bullet in his head. He earned that fucking bullet. I have a foot shooting fetish. Fuck you, Martin. I saw that. So we see some really good, effective fighting there. And then we see the one woman that's being held hostage, the wife, mother, and she's being forced to do something she doesn't want to do, which leads to this moment that just fucking irks.
No. You're mixing up two scenes.
Okay, go ahead.
They report back that mission complete, and they learn no, it's not, because that was only half the cell, because the other half with Shabal is on their way to the border to use a tunnel system that starts in a milk
That's
factory.
right, yeah.
So that's why Petros tells them, I can lead you there, but this is cartel territory, and they outgun us, and that won't be an easy mission, but they have to. They have to go. They ran out of time, so they need to take action. And yeah, when they go in there to take them out, we see the woman with the vest, and she's holding her switch like this. Where's the camera? There. It's not a dead man switch. And they don't drop her.
That's the important thing. Is it is an actual detonator switch that you got to depress.
You have to push it. So why not waste them? Yeah.
That was the stupidity of the scene. They go in.
Instead of immediately dropping her, they scream bomb and run away. And I was like, what the fuck?
Because if she had it would have been better if it was a dead man switch and they realize it, and then they turn around and go, fuck, and turn the corner to get away, and then she lets go of it. That would have been so much better. But absolutely, this is the cold heart reality of combat situations. And they show it in the movie American Sniper, where the enemy are known to use children and women. And you got to drop them. If you are really there to save lives of your fellow soldiers or other citizens, then you have to be willing to sometimes kill somebody that you don't want to kill. And
I've talked to too many people that were veterans.
Me too.
The Iraq, the last one we were in, the Iraq War. They set up in hospitals. They set up in schools. It's an evil damn thing, man. It really is. And if you're going to snuff them out, sometimes the collateral damage is bad. It is.
It messes people up. It happened a lot in Vietnam. And I don't want to say his name. His first name is George. I won't say his last name. He was the guy that, when I saw the movie Pet Sematary, I was reminded of that line, later. The guy that, for some reason in my head, should have been my dad. And he was a Vietnam War vet, and he was terrified of having a child because he had to up close kill a kid one time. It was once. And he said he had to shoot this kid because the kid was booby trapped. And that shit happens a lot. I mean, there's a story I think it was Philip Caputo in his book, Rumor of War. he talks about how being on the back of a Jeep once, and they were handing out chocolate to kids, and one of the kids had a booby trap on him, and it knocked him out. The only thing that saved him was his flak jacket, because he was hit with shrapnel right in the chest.
Oh, fuck.
And it saved his life. It was either him or Mike Warnke. I can't remember one. But I do believe it was Philip Caputo that said that. My friend Miko is in Pet Cemetery.
What the heck? What is he talking about?
That is I think that's the name of the cat. The
I was
real
fixing
cat.
to say it's probably one of the animals.
I think that was the cat's name in real life. This is Jeebus. This is Jeebus High.
He's just babbling away all the time in chat.
Yeah, I know. I love it. I
Nothing
love
to do
Monkey
with what we
Jeebus.
do here.
Sometimes it really does, but Jeebus
Sometimes,
is.
yeah.
I will say, man. No, he
Oh.
played Gage. That's right, Miko, the kid who played Gage.
Okay.
Best
He was
part of
being
this
serious.
fucking movie. Not fair. You know, he fucking gets killed again. He gets killed the second time. Not fair. Kid was so cute.
I'm jealous of Jeebus's toy collection. That's what I'm jealous of. Okay.
I think everybody is. But anyway, so we get that scene, and they wanted the jump explosion moment for the film.
Yeah.
But it at cost of logic. And that was like the only scene in the whole film that fucking irritated me. It's like the minute they walk in and that lady's thumb is straight up in the air, they would have assessed it, a split second, just dropped her.
Yeah.
And I think it was a mistake not showing the realism of that moment and instead letting her take her own life. But, oh well, is what it is. It's like,
once again,
you know,
some
one of
credit,
two
right?
things needed to happen there. They needed to assess that they couldn't help her and that she was going to do what she was going to do. And they try to explain it through the teardrop in her eye. And, and of course, this is the thing that irritates me again, is that once they assess that she's going to do it, they know she's going to do it. Because even if they jump out of the way of that explosion, they still might get killed. They should have dropped her for that reason.
Absolutely.
So there we go. We got that scene.
Decision, that's a split-second decision. She's dead anyway.
Yeah, she's dead no matter what.
Yeah.
So the slide scene is one of my favorite moments.
Oh,
Because
that's so cool.
another Call of Duty moment, because
Yeah.
that slide is so fucking badass when he slides up to that pillar and just while he's mid-slide.
He does it twice.
Yeah, he fucking opens up wall mid-slide shooting at that guy. And I'm like, that was badass. You know, doesn't slide and then fire. He's sliding and firing and then comes to a stop, still firing. And they're showing that in the film throughout, guys moving and firing at the same time. Because, this is a mistake they make in a lot of films. They show guys stop to fire. No, you can fire while moving. A combat effective person can shoot while moving.
You stop, you're dead.
Yeah, you got to keep moving all the time. Baboons with lightsabers. What, Andy? Oh my god, I don't know what he's talking about. But in the process of all this, we have a tragic moment.
Grenade thrown at them, and one of
They're
the
going
guys
after
sacrifices himself.
They're going after the Russian, and while they're pursuing him into the underground, back into the tunnels, he's throws a grenade into the middle of them, and one of the main guys sees it, and they do it in slow motion. I wish they hadn't done that. Go ahead and show it in real time. Show it in real time. He turns, sees it, knows what it is, yells "grenade," and jumps on it. And there is always that chance that your body armor will save you from dying from a grenade, because guys have survived
When
that.
you're right on top of it, really. Oh,
Yeah, guys have survived that. But in this case, for the story, that was his personal self-sacrifice. And it's that great statement from John in the Bible that no greater sacrifice than to give one's life for another, you know, and that's what he does. And he jumps on that grenade to save his team, and his partner is like, take care of him. And he keeps moving. He goes into the tunnels after the bad guys, the last of the bad guys. He gets fucking nailed in the shootout. Holy crap. And I'm saying it out loud while we're watching. He can survive that one. He's good. He's good. Nope. Those are all bad. Those are all bad hits. Those are all bad. Yeah, he's bleeding now. So you remember when I said that during the shot? I was just like, because as a medic, I'm watching like, oh, he's good. He's good. He got hit in the armor there. Nope. That one, that hit the other leg now. Nope, the arm now. Oh, yeah, he got hit in the hand. Oh, he's in bad shape. He is in really bad shape. And he's exposed. He's not behind anything. He's right there at the end of the tunnel, and they're hiding. And they're lighting him up, man. And the one, I think he's Filipino or I'm not sure what he was, takes off running, and he nails him with a pistol. He's out of rounds with his rifle. So he just fucking drops him about 35 yards, 40 yards away, drops him, shooting him in the back. And the other guy, the Russian Chechen piece of shit, it's like, well, this is it. It's between us. He's clearly, because it'll take him probably 20 minutes to die in reality, but he's about to lose consciousness. He's lost enough blood that he's about to lose consciousness. You want to describe what happens, baby?
No, you do it.
I don't want to, because it gets me emotional. No, I don't want to do it. It gets me emotional.
I don't remember it that well.
Oh, God damn it. All right, then I'm going to have to fucking do this quick. I get emotional when guys do shit. What does the Russian do? I forget what the Russian does. He stands up. That's right. He's walking towards him. Just balls out like, I've got you, you motherfucker. I'm going to kill you. And he's walking towards him. And he's going to shoot him up close and personal. And his buddy pops in and fucking nails him and kills him before he can kill our guy, who's lying there bleeding out. And you're left wondering who's going to die. That Russian piece of shit's dead. All the terrorists are dead, except for the one guy who was taken captive and a prisoner now in Guantanamo. They should never tear that prison apart. We need that prison. We don't want them in the U.S.
Hey, it's a part of my comic book. That's where they take the privateer to when they first get him. Yeah,
it's like we don't want people like that in our prison system. Because you know what they do? They begin talking to other prisoners and convincing them to join them if they get out.
Oh yeah.
Hello. Yeah.
By the way, Joe, I told him about your cover.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a guy. I actually have Kurt Yeager, the actor, who is in my comic book, playing the part of John Russell, aka Vindicated. Even though in the comic I never call him Vindicated.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, Vindicated is the name of the company, the fake company they create. Him and his two partners.
Oh wow!
It's supposed to be like, airsoft paintball.
Gotcha.
Where you buy fake, realistic military gear, for that kind of stuff upstairs, but downstairs in the basement they actually have the real
deal Holyfield,
the real armory,
there. Yeah,
armory. And the name of the company is Vindicated Incorporated.
Wow.
And that's really where the name Vindicated comes from. It's the company they use to hide. Because I said the one thing you have to do is you have to create a fake paper trail for the company and never have a paper trail for the vigilantism.
Right.
All the money for the vigilantism comes from the criminals that they kill or take out or stop. And in fact, the weapons he has, it's not in the first book. It actually is told in the second book how he's going to get all this equipment. Is he takes on an arms dealer. And he tells the arms dealer, we own you now. You only deal with us. I'll make sure you're paid. But if I catch you selling arms to anybody else, I will personally kill you. Mm-hmm. I will come into your house when you're taking a shit and kill you on your toilet.
And he knows ways to kill.
Yeah, and Vindicated's just fucking bad. Yeah, her favorite scene is he's going up against these mercs. They're these Blackwater mercs hired by the biker gang. And they're just fucking cornering him. And he says, when all else fails, old Sarge always told me, go grenade bowling.
Oof.
And he flips the corner without exposing himself too much and throws 2 grenades out. Rolls out to these guys, and they're like, oh, fuck. And he kills them all. And it sets off the drug towers that are in there with the chemicals.
Oh,
and
God.
He makes it out of the building.
Yeah.
He makes it out of the building, but in the fight, though, in the middle of the fight, if you notice what I did, a chunk of his leg gets blown off.
Yeah, well, but
His
that's
prosthetic leg.
Yeah. So.
Wow.
And so when the detective finds it, that is how he ends up figuring out who Vindicated is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The cop gets it back. He thought, it's like, what the hell is this? Is this part of a weapon? What is this? So he sends it in to be checked, and it takes weeks before he gets it back. And it's in the next book, not this one, but the next book. When he gets it back and he finds out, he goes, when did I get this? Why has this been sitting here? Somebody hadn't given it to him, been sitting on a desk for like a week or two. And he's like, what? And then he looks at it, and it says that this is actually part of the M something prosthetic leg.
Mm-hmm. Prosthesis.
And his eyes get so huge because he's now friends with the fucking vigilante.
He knows who it is right then, right?
Because he pegged him.
Mm-hmm.
In the next book, there's
Tracy.
a run-in. They have pegged him. He is totally pegged. There's this moment when he confronts him at the VA, and of course he volunteers. John volunteers at the VA, like a lot of veterans do. And he's at a desk, and he's sitting behind the desk, and he's talking to him. And absolutely, his radar is pinging John, the cop. And the cop is based off my buddy Shane Moore, who's a real veteran cop and military. And he's just like, this is my guy. This is my guy. And then John rolls out with a missing leg in a wheelchair. And he immediately...
Can't be that guy, right?
Oh, fuck.
Can't be him.
How could I be so wrong?
Right.
Yeah, he pegged him. Backdoor Gary 2022. Fuck you, Kyle.
You really thought he'd let them go? You should.
I thought I told Anima she ducked in when I was finishing up the cover plotting yesterday, and I said, make sure.
Hold on, don't finish it. Don't finish it. I got to play the video.
Like, wouldn't you know that back door would trigger a trap door? Yeah, and look where we.
Okay, now finish.
And I told her to tell you that I was going to have a Huey helicopter on the cover. He was going to be hanging out there, and you'd be very proud. Hang on a second. I got to do something with my camera. I actually prepared for this. If you look at that thing, you'll see that he's holding his musket in his left hand to your right. Okay. And you'll notice he's not fingering the trigger. His finger is parallel to the musket barrel. So I figured you'd be proud of that too. But he's hanging out the side of a Huey helicopter. I was trying to decide what to put on the cover, and that's what I decided to go with. And I wanted to make sure when she ducked her head in there, I said, make sure you tell Gary that I included one of our beloved vehicles from when we were in the military. So yeah.
That's funny. Here, let me show you something real quick. This is one of the interior chapter covers. Zoom out a little bit so you can see it.
I'm done, Martin. Drop me out, baby.
There you go. That is actor Kurt Yeager, with his almost a full SOP mod M4, hanging outside the door of a Black Hawk.
There you go.
And I really like the way I drew this.
You did a great job, man.
And again, look at that finger.
It is not curled inside
This
the
is
guard,
my
is it?
safety.
That's
This
right.
is my safety.
Hello.
And
Yeah.
what is he gripping here, honey? What's he gripping there? That's the front pistol grip.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If he wasn't gripping that, his hand would be up here by the magazine.
Up by the magazine, because you don't want it on the guard.
That you want weapon management, weapon control, essential. But that's mine hanging out of helicopter.
That's very cool.
Thank you. But you know, you are more cartoony, whereas I'm like ultra overly realistic.
Yeah, it's going to be more Walt Simonson. Yours is a lot more realistic. I like the what adjective am I trying to find? More extreme motion look kind of thing.
Gary's comics give you a movie feeling.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
there you go. Can you read that?
Yeah.
Can you read that? Read it.
Vindicated Inc. is my personal love song to every veteran who has left a piece of themselves on the battlefield. Gary Kessel. Very cool, man. Yeah.
Opening
did you
shot.
Get this published already?
No, I'm making changes in the book.
Okay.
First pages, he's being chased by SWAT.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the corrupt SWAT commander, who's one of the villains in the story. I love this shot of him jumping between roofs.
Yeah.
And this sniper nails him right in the chest. And he just lays there and he says, "Motherfucker must pay."
Must
and
pay.
You see the
That's
bullet
right.
in the
Yeah.
armor, indented armor there.
Right.
And then you see the sniper go, "Target is down, repeat, target is down." And then we see, this is my buddy. He has actually been in a lot of movies and TV shows. He was the villain in Unbreakable. One of the villains. He was the orange jumpsuit serial killer.
Okay.
And I'm friends with him in real life, and he agreed to play this character.
Okay. Very cool.
And
I love how you use real people as your models, because I'm a portrait artist too, and that's one of the hardest things to draw as a
I love my
face.
logo too.
Yeah. Very
that
cool,
logo
man.
looks-
Yeah, I can't. When you do get this published, I want one.
I always laughed because a lot of people go, "Why does that look more like a penis than a foot?"
Oh man, come on! Get your mind out of the gutter. That thing's way too low. Unless he grew a penis on his big toe.
Oh, and I reused artwork I drew from another book, Code Word Geronimo. This is a frame from that, but I'm going to change it because this guy's a shitheel in real life, and I don't like him anymore.
You've detailed that before. No reason to go off on that tangent. We understand why you can't stand that dude. Yep.
And now we get to see the moment when he loses his leg and how.
Mm-hmm.
They're moving forward on this village, and you'll see there's a huge gap in the base of this hooch house, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
And then there's Fahim in my book, and he named his characters Captain Jabari. And Jabari looks back at his number two, and the number two's acting funky, and he sees number two pull out a phone and see the close-up, and he's punching something in. He looks down at the phone, and Jabari's getting angry, and then they make eye contact, and that pistol comes out, and he fucking drops him right then and there.
Mm-hmm.
And but it's too late. He already hit send, and he yells, and it's just great stuff. He says, but he didn't stop him. Jabari tried to warn me. There was no time. Beep. Oh, beep. Fuck. Beep.
Yep.
Time slowed as the flames came out. And for a split second, I was home on the beach, the tide washing over my feet, and the flame, of course, representing the look of the water. And then I show it here, not in great detail, that's his leg getting blown off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's
and then
cool
I wanted
stuff,
to go
man.
His POV looking up at his team. And this is like, this made Dale die laugh when he read this. He goes, what does he say? He goes, "I'm sorry, man. You got the evac? Yeah, shit. Hold on. Sorry." Pop, pop, pop. Fires 2 shots. He goes, bad guys. Anyway. And here we go. I use mics instead of clicks here. He says, there are 2 mics out. Okay, good. He goes, "Hey, grab the leg. Roger that. Hey, I need you to shift fire on that building 2nd floor." And then the main character goes, "Leg."
Yeah, leg. What?
And then he says in the narration, "Nothing in this life can prepare your mind for the moment when someone hands someone else a part of your body."
Yeah. Whoa.
And he's sitting there watching them hand his leg over.
Yeah.
And then we show him, and that leg's gone.
Yeah.
So
Dude, that's great stuff.
It is, Dale. Dale and Julie, his wife, are in the book.
Mm-hmm.
My boss, both my bosses. They're both my bosses. And yeah, that's my book, man.
Your book looks great so far. Yeah, I want to see it. Are you going to keep it black and white, or are you going to color it?
I had some of it colored,
okay,
and I hated it.
Yeah,
I felt
so
like
keep it black and white. I mean, yeah,
it felt it lost something. The stark, hard black and white, for some reason, fits the story.
Yeah,
and because
way,
I'm not gratuitous with the violence or the gore, but it is there. Like the scene you like when John throws the knife into Gary's. That's right. There's a bad guy named Gary in it. It was on purpose to make fun of myself. And he throws a knife and he goes, "Oh, Gary, not your day. That blade hit right into your subclavian artery. Nicked it good. Oh," he says, "Yeah, you got maybe 6 minutes tops before you bleed out. Unless," he yanks the knife out, "I do that. Now you've got maybe 3.
Yeah. Now you're
I've uncorked you. You're bleeding out now."
And
It would actually
like,
take
"Man, you have to help me."
It would actually take 20 minutes to completely bleed out that way. They show in movies people like get hit in the neck and fall down and they're dead within like a minute. And it's like, no, that's not how the body works. It'll take up to 20 minutes for your brain and heart to stop functioning.
Yeah,
because they fight. They're fighting to keep going. They're fighting to keep going.
They're going to use every bit of that oxygen that's in that blood left. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the 2 organs that want to stay alive, keep themselves alive, is the brain and the heart.
Mm-hmm.
So and the heart, and they've discovered this now, that the heart is made up of less muscle and more brain tissue. It has more in common with the brain than it does any other organ in the body.
Wow.
And because of that, it really bodes the question of, when you feel something in your heart, you're really feeling it in your heart.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that's been talked about really probably in the last 7 years, this discovery of how many nerve cells in your heart are more like brain cells than they are regular nerve cells in anywhere else in the body. It's crazy. So the movie ends with a funeral. Let's get to that. And they do the classic, each guy walks up from the team, putting their emblem on there and hammering it or pushing it in. And the main character that threw himself on the grate is the one who dies, and his buddy who got shot survives his injuries. The guy who lost his eye survived and is still part of the team, even though when you don't have 3-dimensional vision, it's required. In the military, if you see a movie or a show and a soldier closes one of their eyes when they shoot, someone didn't do their job. No. Soldiers are trained to shoot with both eyes open for a reason, because you have to be constantly tactically aware of your surroundings. So you never close that eye. You train one eye to focus and the other one to relax, but you leave it open. You have to have a 3-dimensional view of the battlefield at all times. And,
for your peripheral vision and for depth perception.
For depth perception and aiming in particular. To aim properly, you need to see with both eyes.
Yep.
And that's why when it was clear that the eye is gone, I immediately asked Gary, will he still be able
I said the odds are he won't be a shooter or a door kicker after this.
No.
He could still be tactical and do work with SEALs, but he wouldn't be a door kicker, because you really, if anything, you need your eyes. You need them both, and to be
a great sniper effective. Because they're more worried about that scope and elevation and windage and stuff like that. But yeah, being up close, they'd have to have that peripheral.
Well, and also because snipers usually have a team member that works with them.
They got somebody covering them.
Yeah, that's giving them wind. They're giving them distance, telling them, up 1 notch, down 1 notch. So you probably could get away with it as a sniper.
But you're right. Door kicker would not be. You got to be able to see.
You got to be
180 degrees around.
Well, that sniper is though too, because snipers can find themselves in the shit too, and with that one absent eye, their depth perception is gone. So close quarter battle tactic is out the door for somebody with only one eye. Not saying that they can't fight. I'm just saying they're going to have a harder time.
Yeah, they are.
But that's it. That's the show. We're done with Echo 3. What a piece of crap.
I got so angry watching it yesterday, and I was right in the middle when I started texting Gary. I'm so angry at this shit. I refuse to watch anything past episode 4.
Oh, Dork Knight is here. Hi, Dork. What's up, buddy? How you doing, Danny?
Because what a waste of time.
He did a great job yesterday on that show, by the way. He did a great job.
Very good.
Yep.
I know it's kind of awkward that we have to do the show at a different time. But from this point forward, because they're going to pick us up, and once they pick us up, you either record the show and air it at the right time, or we go live at the right time for the network. So, yay!
Yes, absolutely, yay for you. Yes, absolutely.
Let's hope so.
Very happy. For you.
I'm a pessimist. I can't help it.
No, you're not.
Or what I would refer to as a realist. It's like somebody, the old joke is, I'm a glass half empty, I'm a glass half full guy. Mine is, I'm not touching that water. It looks like somebody may have touched it, put their fingers in it, maybe drink out of it. I don't want their germs. The height and level of the water means nothing to me. The quality of the water is what's important.
There you go.
So I'm a realist.
Well, the quality yesterday was good. It was good.
I'm glad to hear that. How was the guest guy, the host?
He was great, man. He's a matter of fact, I'm going to be picking his brain. He knows a lot about the business from the backstage perspective. And yes, looking forward to picking his brain. He has actually worked in the business. So yeah.
Very cool. I love that intro. Should I play the intro real quick? I'll play it.
Go, man. I love it.
I made this thing in a day.
You almost made Danny cry, apparently.
Yeah.
How long did it take me? Because you knew how long it took me, hon. How long did it take me?
When Danny interrupted us on Saturday, about an hour.
So it took me about an hour to 2 hours to make this. So here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, Pop Culture Minefield proudly brings to you its PCM Dork Side of the Ring! The Dork Knight, Danny Ballard, the Atmosphere, Joe Rivers, and the Broad Street Bully, Johnny Rock! And if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for ya. Suck it!
That's dynamite.
That was very serendipitous that I found a crowd yelling "suck it."
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, and it didn't even take you long.
No, it shouldn't have. That is some famous stuff. That's
I get very lucky when I'm doing stuff. I'll go, I wonder. And I'll go looking for something. I'll go, holy crap, I don't have to create it. Because what I was going to do is record like 4 voices saying it.
Yeah.
And then play them slightly out of time with one another.
Yeah.
Just a microsecond. And then create a chorus on it.
Right.
To where it sounded like a crowd. And then I'm like, I don't even have to fucking do that. Look at that.
Yeah. I mean, well, Gary, if you don't watch wrestling, you don't know. It's very popular, man. There's a lot of people that watch it. And there's videos all over YouTube where you're going to find that right there. I mean, it went on for almost a decade, that bunch of goofs doing that stuff. I wasn't watching it back then, but it's Danny's favorite period of the WWE history. So yeah, very cool, man. It looks fantastic. We had a ball.
You said it's his favorite period?
Phrasing.
Hey
man, I'm wide open for that. I was telling
phrasing.
Comics division was got me last night, and I said, man, no.
You really pegged him.
Phrasing.
But yeah, it was we had a great time getting to know each other. We did as you suggested. We told our history in wrestling, why we watch it, and all that good stuff. And yeah, I'm looking forward to
we used to do
Johnny's
backyard wrestling. We would do all sorts of stuff. My friends, Rick and Mark Maxfield. Ricky died back in 2012, I think. Diabetes. Every single one of my friends who's dead died from diabetes.
Man.
And that's why I'm taking so much care with what I do.
Yeah.
With my diet now. I don't want to end up like my friends. My last friend to die from it was Michael Anderson. It broke my heart when he died. And we just been talking.
I got diagnosed last year, and it took my mother years to get off metformin, but it was diet and exercise. So as soon as they told me that my A1C was that high and they put me on metformin, when they made the appointment with the dietitian, I was all ears, and that was the best appointment I've ever gone to in a doctor's office. And
Amen.
I live it religiously. I haven't eaten chocolate in almost a year now. I'm just not going to do it. I'm kind of stupid that way. If a doctor tells me it's going to kill me, I kind of stay away from it. You know what I mean? You can cheat occasionally, but it's got to be small amounts. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm religious. That's why when you were saying get in here, I'm like, dude, I'm fixing breakfast. So I got to do that. Got to do it.
I get you. Now I do a lot of fasting, and it's helped me lose weight, as well as working to get my A1C down.
Yeah.
Because during this move, my A1C went out of control because I wasn't eating properly during this move.
No. You get out of your routine, and that's you're gonna have a fluctuation.
But I'm going keto now. Keto, not keto. I'm going keto. Keto Kalen. He's living on the sofa now.
Keto.
He's got anything to eat? That's what he does. He eats all my food. That's what's saving me. Hey, dude.
Man.
So, people who don't know Keto Kalen, he was O.J. Simpson's.
He was O.J.'s roommate. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Housemate, roommate. I'm not sure which one he was. But
he was staying in the guest house, wasn't he? That's why he was such a big.
Yeah, the guest house.
Child. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Your health affects you and others around you. Yeah, that's true, Mags. Put the cookie down.
I haven't had a cookie.
I think I was bad. I was bad this week, and I had some graham crackers because they don't have a lot of sugar in them. But I was craving something, and I had no sugar-free cookies, and I had to have something. So right after I took my insulin, I immediately ate like two, technically two. It's there in halves. It's four, but it's actually each one.
Complain to me, Gary, that you're being lectured at the doctors about stuff you already know.
No, the lecture I got was deserved for what I was doing. I was eating way too many carbs, and I was eating regular pasta, not whole grain pasta. I was eating full 2 to 3 servings instead of just half a serving or a quarter of a serving.
Yeah, that's the thing. You gotta be mindful of the amount you're eating. Yeah,
because like rice in particular, rice is really bad because
rice,
it has a slow,
it goes straight to sugar. Yeah,
bread is quick. It's a fast spike and drop. The spike that's bad is rice because rice is a slow, gradual spike, and it'll keep your sugar raised for a while. And that's why I avoid rice like the plague. I eat cauliflower rice, fake rice.
Yeah.
And
I don't like that stuff. I eat small amounts of it. When I have my Chinese, I just have a little bit of my fried rice, just a little.
Yeah, fried rice.
Yeah,
I like to order General's chicken.
You know it.
Oh, racist. Yeah. Yeah. Fried rice. So I think the most racist joke I remember as a kid was the restaurant, Chinese restaurant, and about. Do you remember this one? It's like, me Chinese, me play joke, me go pee pee in your Coke.
Yes.
I didn't remember the buildup. I just remember the punchline.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I remember that one.
Some of the jokes when we were kids were so stupid.
They were.
I think that, like, I got the rhythm and the beat. You remember that one?
Sounds familiar, but
cop pulls over these guys walking down the street. Like, what's your problem, man? What's your problem? They're all snapping their fingers, and he goes, what's your problem, mister? He goes, I got the rhythm, got the beat. Goes to this guy, what's your problem? Got the rhythm, got the beat. Goes to the third guy, what's your problem? He goes, I got a booger on my finger and I can't get it off.
No, I never heard that.
Fucking dumb jokes from when we were kids.
Yep.
Just God. I think the one that got me in trouble once was the click pitter patter whoosh when I was a kid. And Chris Lindsay and I were talking, and we were altar boys, and we were cleaning up after mass. And I didn't know Father was walking in behind us while we were talking. And Chris is talking about, and this is back, 80, 81, CNN was just starting. It was a thing. And it's big story that it launched on was the trial of that guy that made allegations against a priest when he was a kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, and Chris is like going, yeah, man, Chris Lindsay, we're still friends to this day. I still talk to him on a regular basis. Chris is like, yeah, man, CNN like reports saying like, you know what CNN is, right? And I'm like, yes, I know what CNN is, but I don't watch it.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, you don't watch it? I said, I'm poor. I have antenna TV, not cable TV.
Right.
He goes, oh, well, CNN is. I said, I know what CNN is. I just don't watch it. He goes, well, they're saying that like this is just the tip of the iceberg, that there could be thousands, possibly even millions of cases going into the future of these allegations coming forward of people that were molested and abused by priests. I said, holy shit, really? He says, yeah. And we're wiping off the brass.
Yeah.
And then I go,
didn't even phase you, right?
Hold on. I'm wiping it off. And then I just look at him and I go, so what do you think? We're ugly? He starts laughing and he's falling forward onto the table, leaning into it, laughing. And then I hear this voice behind me. What are you boys laughing at?
Oh, man.
And I went, and I turned and Father was like right there on us. And I go, and Chris goes, Gary told a joke. And then I looked at Chris like, you motherfucker. He threw me under the bus.
Yeah, he did. He said
Gary told a joke. And I'm like, and Father goes, well, I want to hear it because he loved jokes. He really did. Yeah. He told me some great jokes over the years.
Mm-hmm.
Very blue jokes too. He liked a good dirty joke. And here's what I want to hear it. I said, well, and I told him the click pitter patter whoosh joke, which is just really fucking stupid 4th grade level joke I learned when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And at the punchline of the joke, he just sat there and he stared at me and he goes, that's what you were laughing at, the two of you. You're idiots. You're idiots. And he turned around and he just walked away. There's nothing funny about that. But then the punchline to the joke is 40 years later, I'm on the phone with him and I told him, you remember that? And he goes, oh, I remember you told some joke. It was really stupid. It was really dumb. I said, well, here's what really happened. And I told him, and I could hear his eyes opening wide as his mouth opened up. He goes, oh, I'm ashamed of you. I'm ashamed you're my godson. Oh, I thought you were an idiot then. Oh, you're dumb. You're dumb. That's not funny. No, that's not funny. And he hung up on me.
Oh, man.
He hasn't called me back recently. I'm getting worried because he's getting close to 80. And I panicked that I'm going to lose him. And he's out in Virginia, and if he doesn't call me back, I get panicky. So I'm hoping he'll call me. But I can tell one joke real quick that he told in church.
Oh, man.
Would you guys like to hear this?
Of course.
You have to understand accents for this to be funny, to get the joke of what he told. During Mass, he told
During
this.
Mass. Yes.
And so that was a rhetorical question. He was going to tell it anyway.
It was the Easter weekend, and he wanted to tell the story. He says, in Ireland, back in the 70s, there was this Irish priest who was very radical and very political. And he would say things, and he would get in so much trouble for it. And one day, the Archbishop of the diocese came to visit him, and he says, Father, if you don't stop with the anti-British rhetoric during your sermons, we're going to take away your right to give the mass. He says, and I'll be watching you and make sure that you don't do it. He says, you're not going to use the pulpit, the Catholic pulpit, to make your political statements against England. So he's like, all right, Reverend Father, I'll do just as you said. And so the bishop would visit and watch every time he gave a service. And for a year, this guy was not only true to his word of not speaking ill of the Queen or of Great Britain, but he would compliment her hat or dress or something she said that week. And this went on for a full year. And then that following year, about the same time on the anniversary, that priest went out and began the homily and went through everything and began to talk about how at the Last Supper, Jesus turned to his disciples and he said, one of you this day will betray me. And they were aghast. And first, John, the one who was his brother, said, Lord, 'tis it me, Lord. He says, nay, John, for you're me brother. And then Peter turns to him, he says, Lord, 'tis it me, Lord. And he says, nay, Peter, for you're Caiaphas, the rock for which I'll build me church. And he went through all the disciples until he got to Judas. And Judas piped up and said, I say, old man, is it me? Joe got it.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, sorry, I'm kind of
because Judas was a Brit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. My cats are being
I say, old man.
Yeah. I say, old man, is it me? He told that in church. I love him. He was great. He was my hero growing up, Father Williams. Irish. No, fair and adieu to you, fair Spanish ladies. Fair and adieu to you, ladies of Spain.
We received orders for to sail back to Boston.
What a great song.
Yeah.
Robert Shaw. What a loss. But anyway, you enjoyed that one, Mags. Okay, Mags liked that joke.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I guess that's it. Thanks for popping in, Joe. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah. I had full intentions of getting up earlier than I did, but like I said, man, I streamed for 8 hours yesterday. I mean, we had a member stream.
8 hours. That's too much streaming in a day.
I had missed the member stream for Comics Division's channel 2 weeks ago. He does it every 2 weeks on a Sunday. And I had missed it 2 weeks ago because it was the final episode of the series of The Walking Dead. And, my wife is one of those, if Daryl dies, we riot girls. So I had to watch it with her. And I had to be there.
And by the way, over the weekend, I want to point out, Tom got blocked by Scott Mendelson. I've been trying to get blocked by him for years. I tag him. I will talk shit about him because he's a fucking idiot. He's an asshole. I don't know how he gets paid for what he does. He's a shill for Hollywood. And I've tagged him, calling him a shill, calling him names. In fact, I usually I call him Scott Mendelshit. I just fucking hate that guy so much. And Tom says one fucking thing.
I was fixing to say, how did Discount Batman achieve what you've been trying to do for a while?
Scott fucking blocked him. Because he said the mental gymnastics that you had to go through to get to that point, it must have left you exhausted. Then he fucking blocks him. I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing wrong? Fuck Scott Mendelson, that cocksucker. I can't stand him. Anyway, I want to thank Krampus for being here, Jeebus, D. Bud Martin, Gap After Dark, Slasher Fred, Alex Moore, Dragon Ruse, Real Wade Nation, Marcus A. 6. Thank you for being here, 6. Always awesome, 6. Magitech Mags, also always awesome. Das Wolfen, John, hope you get feeling better, buddy. Mexican Iron Man, stop hurting my feelings, Mikey. The 70s rock fan, Joe's Atmosphere, who's also here on the show. Keely Chow, Cavatino Cavalryman Che, Ford is back COD, Farnsworth, Zax, aka Cal, Andy Morrow, Keto Simple, Dustin. Dork Night. Thank you guys all for popping in. It was a fun day. Fun talking shit. Fun looking at my woman. I like looking at her, even when she's distracted by her insane cats. Martin, thank you for being the right side of my brain, as always. And by the way, we're going to have to find somebody to do his job for Sunday. He can't do it. It's just too much in a week. So we need somebody to do what he does for the show. And anybody who wants to volunteer to do what Martine does with managing the chat for the Dork Side of the Ring, let me know.
Yeah, thanks a lot for yesterday, buddy. He was hurting. He had a massive headache. It was killing him yesterday.
Yeah, it's called Dork
Thank
Night.
you so much.
No. I love Danny. Come on.
I love it. I love him too, but it's fun to shit on him a little.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, well, you know.
Stop that. It's silly. Very silly indeed.
Yep. So I must end the show now. I bid you all adieu, as they say in the song. Farewell and adieu to you, fair Spanish ladies. Fair and adieu to you, ladies of Spain. I got orders to return to Boston. So
nevermore shall we see you.
Again.
Till tomorrow.
Till tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel. Tomorrow is, of course, Chris's show. So I hope you guys show up and have a fun time. He's got an interesting show. I'll be getting that set up here. So keep your eyes peeled for the link to watch his show for tomorrow. Until then, do like I do. Enjoy your Monday and fuck off and do something else.
Hey guys, thanks for watching Pop Culture Minefield. If you've enjoyed the show, please make sure to like, subscribe, and don't forget to click the bell icon for updates on our shows and channel. Also, please leave a comment, and we'd like to know what you thought of the episode, as well as letting us know if there's something you'd like us to cover in a future episode. Don't forget that you can become a member of Pop Culture Minefield now. Make sure to visit our membership page and merch store at popcultureminefield.com. You can always find